are you buying the official story of the Charlie Kirk assassination? Because let me just go on the record right now and say, when I was reading through those text messages that they say he wrote, I agree with everybody online, both right and left, who are saying, this does not look right. This does not look right. A lot of the language that he uses the word vehicle instead of car. He says my old man, which is something roughly no Zoomers have ever said in history. He literally lays out in order all of the things that would plug the holes in their investigation. Like, you know, oh, I used this rifle and I put it under a blanket and I left it in the trees. And remember when I was engraving those bullets?
And it was definitely premeditated. Yeah.
So I know it sounds like we're out here in cuckoo land in the sense that we're not buying it, but at the same time, this is Kash Patel. This is Dan Bongino. This is Trump's FBI. These are paid political hacks. It's the same guy who wrote a literal children's book about how Trump the king was being like besmirched by Hillary, the jester or whatever the fuck it was, right? So I know it's controversial to say at this moment, but do you look at that with the same sort of skepticism, like what the fuck is this? Or do you think, no, they largely got it right. Tyler Robinson probably is the guy and, you know, they're just going to go through the process and he'll be locked up and that'll be that.
So in the old days, like when 9/11 happened, I didn't entertain any like nonsense about, oh, the steel can't melt at this temperature, blah, 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 right? And then over the course of time, I was like, look, I don't know what the right answer is. Where did the planes go, right? Like, so if it's a conspiracy, like there's a million unexplained questions in my mind, right? On the other hand, now I'm going, wait a minute. I've always been skeptical about World Trade Center 7. How is a building across the street get so hot that the steel melts, but the building in between the steel didn't melt? Like, none of it makes any sense when it comes to World Trade Center 7, right? Mm-hmm. And then as it's melting steel across town, they find Mohammed Atta's passport, a paper passport, on the rubble. Perfectly preserved. Mm-hmm. That's paper, right? And you're like, look, I don't know what happened, but World Trade Center 7 didn't melt, and Mohammed Atta's passport didn't. Come on, guys, right? So now when you turn to Tyler Robinson, so on the one hand, same thing, like, yeah, but I mean, what is his dad and mom lying? They turned him in. So, and he apparently, told them, and they'd have to concoct this enormous conspiracy that involves his family.
Well, Bill Ackman's paying them over $1 million. You saw that, right?
No.
Bill Ackman is paying them over $1 million because Bill Ackman says, oh, thank you for turning in your son who did it. Here's $1.2 million for the dad who turned him in.
Oh, I did not see that. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, so, but to your point, Kyle, so first thing is, they're like, okay, we got the guy, and the minute they said the bullets were engraved, I was like, bullshit. Like, engraved bullets is bullshit 101, right? That's exactly how you go, oh, I am doing this for trans people, right? Exactly. I'm like, really? Okay, so, but actually that wasn't the first thing that drew my interest. The first thing was, he only took one shot. Mm-hmm. Now, he knew where the cameras were. Everywhere there's a camera, he's doing this with his face, right? He's got the hat on, the glasses on. He acted like a professional in every way. What do psychos do? They spray the place, right? Mm-hmm. Either with an AR-15, but okay, he's got this rifle, right? Mm-hmm. An amateur's only going to take one shot and be like, oh yeah, I got him. Next shot through the artery, severs the spinal cord. We're good. I'm out, right? Yeah. I've literally never seen that, right? So that's got professional 101. I'm not talking about the shot. Mm-hmm. People say, oh, you can take that shot. People who've trained, et cetera, right? I'm talking about the entire operation. Now, then I start hearing from the right wing, okay?
Yeah,
they're like,
wait.
When he jumps off the roof, the rifle is disassembled. So then in the woods,
he puts it back together.
He assembles it with the engraved bullets.
Come on.
Puts it in a towel and goes, here it is. Now then you go to the text messages. He's like, because the rifle's the most unexplained thing. So he's like, now remember, it is definitely my rifle. And I left the rifle in the woods on purpose. I would like to get it back. Okay. Oh, I am so worried about my rifle, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. And then I read more of the text messages. He's like, I am the one who definitely did it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, really? Like, is this how people talk? And then he goes on Discord or wherever he goes. He's like, now remember, everybody, I really love you all, but it was me. Okay.
Yep,
and I'm
that's
like,
right.
I'm like, okay. So, but if he's saying it's me on Discord and the other place and to his roommate, okay, then why isn't he saying it now? Now you can say, okay, sure. I mean, he got caught. He's worried about life sentence. He's worried about death penalty. then why did he say it in all the other places?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So-
And how about, I'm sorry, Crystal.
Well, I just
Go
want to
ahead.
put my marker down.
Yeah, go ahead. You're not with the crazy guys over
I
here.
don't
Go
know
ahead.
my marker down. Listen, okay. So I too have a lot of questions and a lot of things we should start with the fact of what Kyle said. This is a politicized FBI. We know that they lie. Period. End of story. Right. So there is no reason why people should take what they're saying at face value. Okay. On the other hand, like, an extraordinary claim requires extraordinary evidence. I too am looking at the text messages, and we actually had my daughter is senior in high school. Like, I was like, look at these. She was like, that's fucking fake. No way. There's no 22-year-old who is texting like this in complete sense. Oh, let me put in my comma in the appropriate place. Not to mention when you're supposed to be like hiding from the cops, whatever. So I too read the text messages and was like, these are fucking fake. However, like, it would require a massive grand plot. It would require, a lot in terms of creating these text messages, planning them, and convincing people, and there would be a lot of people who'd have to know, etc. So I'm going to need more evidence than just, these seem really weird.
But here's what I was going to bring up to Cenk.
Yeah.
The one part I literally cannot explain. I don't get the multiple decoys. They served a purpose of allowing him to get away. One guy was this old guy who said, I did it, shoot me. Cops were dragging him out, his fucking pants were falling down. It all looked like he was acting, right? Then there was another guy who had a pellet gun on campus. The pellet gun just happened to look like a real gun. So the cops spent extra time grabbing the old guy, grabbing the guy with the pellet gun. Come to find out, this part I don't know for sure is true, so I hesitated to say it on air. I'll give all, the disclaimers leading up to it, but there's speculation online that this guy, I think his name is something Zinn, George Zinn or something like that, he also saw 9/11 happen and said, oh, the second the planes hit the towers, I knew it was Al-Qaeda. He also called in a bomb threat in 2013 to like the Salt Lake City Marathon or something like that. Then he was at the assassination of Charlie Kirk. What are the statistical chances this one guy is at all three of those events that have a lot of questions around it? And he was a decoy for this. I can't understand how that adds up unless there's a bigger professional job going on here.
Let me give the non-conspiracy answer.
I'd love that.
I'll play the devil's advocate here.
For it.
Okay. So, I mean, you've run for Congress. I've run for Congress. You've been around. You don't like to go out in public, so you haven't been in that many political events. But
Politicon, I've done
there's
Politicon.
a lot of weird people who are attracted to. I mean, all you have to do is walk around D.C. at any time, and you see a lot of strange, mentally ill people who are odd, who inevitably show up at these sorts of things. And this guy was apparently a well-known local gadfly who was there because he's at all these sorts of things and, is probably mentally ill, and the minute this happened decided to like do this whole crazy thing. I mean, I think the part that's the most is like, okay, he concocted this idea of like, let me distract to help the killer, which is what he says that he was doing. I mean, that is like, okay, that's a lot to believe, but what people know, law enforcement kind of knew him, local people kind of knew him. He's this like local gadfly who turns up on this sort of stuff. So I do think there is a potentially innocent explanation for why he was there.
You see, everybody's running for their life when the shots ring off, and he's standing there. It was me. Mm-hmm. Shoot me.
Yeah. What do you think?
So
Jake?
I'm right between you guys. Okay. So I agree with both of you. I agree with Crystal that, first of all, let's just be very clear to the audience, right? We don't know.
We don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
We're just doing freedom of speech here, speculation based on the evidence that we have. If we can't do this kind of speculation, then you can't talk. Right.
That's right.
So we have to be able to converse and discuss this and get to conclusions. I have not gotten to a conclusion. I'm nowhere near a conclusion. Right. And you're right, Crystal. It requires overwhelming proof. Right. So, but Kyle, you're right that there's a lot of weird things happening here. So another point here about the right wing. So the right wing said, oh, there's two guys behind him giving him like dugout signs.
Yeah. I saw every conspiracy about it.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, come on, guys. Every time there's something like this, there's something like that, right? Then I saw the video yesterday. I'm like, God damn it. It's totally true. Okay. So there are two guys right behind Charlie being like this, that, the other thing, and they point a thing, etc. I'm like, okay, and to Crystal's point, though, there could be an explanation. Maybe that's Charlie's security, and they have a signaling system, right? So, but they should be asked. They should be asked, are you part of Charlie's security? Why? Because if somebody said to me, why did you do this and this, right, or whatever they did, I better have an answer because that's an awfully specific. I didn't randomly do this. Nobody randomly does that, right? So, like, why did you do it? But do I trust that our government is going to ask him that? No, I do not trust that at all, right? So, and that's where this now connects to two other things we were talking about, because we have lost faith in our institutions, right? But it's not just us. The right wing hates institutions even more than we do, right? So that's why on things like this, that's another common bond we have, right? And guys, I don't know if it's this. We don't know at all. I don't know. We don't know for sure about Epstein. You know, we have our theories about who did it, right? But we don't know. But the minute we know definitively on this, Epstein, or anything else, okay, and if we find out it's a foreign government, this place is going to blow, okay? But in a slightly positive way, right? where the right wing, if you tell the right wing, oh yeah, you were right, it was a conspiracy, the deep state did it, and it turns out the deep state is a foreign government, they're gonna lose it. And no matter Trump going, I am MAGA king, I am MAGA daddy, you will follow Netanyahu's orders. It's not gonna work.
I mean, the problem is we still don't even have like the full story on JFK. So like we're probably gonna be in this weird middle gray area forever where we speculate, we can point to certain things, but there's never gonna be like that day of true validation. But the things, the laundry list of things that make me go, this is really weird. I mean, I saw a bunch of weird, conspiracies about him being shot from the side with this thing that like looks like a phone, but it's actually a gun. I'm not necessarily buying those ones. I thought those ones were a little out there. But another thing I can't explain is the changing of clothes. So TMZ releases a video of him in a black shirt and jeans. He's got the gun going down his pant leg. He's walking. He's like limping. And then they release another video of him walking in shorts and a maroon T-shirt. Both of those things, he's walking on a street to the school. So the official story goes, he shows up in the maroon, changes into the black, puts the rifle down his pant leg, gets to the school, then he removes the gun, disassembles it, puts it in his backpack, because when he walks up the stairs, he no longer has the gun down his pant leg. Then he gets up there, does the shooting. Immediately when the shooting's over, he disassembles the rifle, which, by the way, is a notoriously difficult one to disassemble, disassembles it, puts it in his backpack, jumps down, then runs into the woods, reassembles it, and leaves it there. And I was just watching a video earlier, the 30-06, which is the kind of weapon that he used. Somebody on TikTok decided, I'm going to show you how difficult it is to do this. This is a guy with a lot of firearm experience. He was able to break it down, but it takes a while, and also the parts are still too big where it would be sticking out of the backpack, and it's not sticking out of the backpack for Tyler Robinson. So they're not telling us the truth. I know that.
The government's contention is that, and this is again comes back to the text messages where you're like, really? Because he says that thing too about like, I changed in the bush, into my other outfit. And he says, I think he even says outfit, which is like a kind of a funny thing to say. But anyway, the government's contention based on the charging documents, I believe, is that the stairwell photos, he still had the gun in his pant leg, and that in the video where he's jumping off the roof,
he broke it down. It's
blurry, but you know how there's, if you watch it slowly, I've watched it a million times.
Me too.
There is an object that he drops.
It's not gun shaped.
And that their contention is that is the gun wrapped in the towel that he drops at that point.
It's not gun shaped.
It's blurry. It's hard to see, but that's their contention. Just giving you their story, the official narrative of what they're putting out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So look, another thing that's fishy is all the leaks, the fake leaks of, there's a cabal of trans people.
I know.
Right. Because it's so convenient at a moment where the right wing is concerned about trans shooters for it to be, there is a cabal of trans people who would like to have them shoot.
Immediately we're like, it's trans people. And then it was like, then it was like, it's trans bullets. And then that had to be retracted. And
he's got a trans partner.
He's probably,
moved the trans goalposts.
Once the photos of the stairwell photos came out, the number of people I saw transvestigating this person, and by the way, smearing random trans people in the country.
4chan was doxing 3 or 4 trans people.
Actually, several of them emailed us, these people tried to destroy our lives because they're so convinced that the shooter must have been trans. And then you just conveniently have this trans furry girlfriends.
Yeah.
It does feel like, okay, this was the thing you guys were trying to make happen from the beginning, and it just happened to fall into place. On the other hand, Charlie Kirk was incredibly hateful towards trans people. And so if anyone was going to have, like, you know, a motivation, this is not justification, but just trying to think of who would be the people that have the motivation to do it, you know, someone who deeply cares about a trans person and who is, you know, really deeply concerned about their own, this is from Ken's reporting, Tyler's own sexuality, and he had this conflict with his parents over his sexuality and these identity issues. Like, okay, well, that is a category of person that you can imagine going, like, mentally ill and murdering, so I guess, murdering someone over this.
Yeah, it's
you know?
totally plausible, and I don't know how they rigged the family and him and the roommate,
Right.
etc. So there's so many unexplained things.
The cameras and the text messages,
Right.
the whole thing. Yeah.
But this entire conversation has made me more hopeful, and I'll tell you why. Because they're going to get caught. I'm not saying they're going to get caught on Tyler Robinson, although it might be on Tyler Robinson. I don't even know if there's anything to catch on Tyler Robinson, right?
Yeah.
But whether it's that, Epstein, or something else.
I just
no,
think
because guys,
they have gotten caught. I mean, what more can you with Epstein, right? They put out that memo that was like, nothing to see here. We're all moving on.
but they got caught on it.
But it did not matter. It didn't matter.
Hey guys, we have Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks this week on Crystal Kyle and Friends. We had a really awesome conversation. You don't want to miss it. This is just a little teaser clip for you, but sign up to see the full thing below.